Good morning. How's everybody doing? Is everyone awake? Are you sure? No. Okay. I am very happy and grateful to be here today and to talk to you about GoBridge and the Go community. I'm going to talk about our initiatives and opportunities. I am a developer at Fastly. I am a founding member of GoBridge. I co-host the Go Time podcast, and I'm also sitting on the board of Bridge Foundry this year. That's how to get a hold of me. Basically, if you know my first name, you'll find me anywhere. A little intro about GoBridge. We were founded just a year ago. We are an open source project. Everything we do is open source, free for reuse. It belongs to the community. We have many initiatives, which I'm going to talk about today. It's all volunteer-based, and we have a nonprofit status through Bridge Foundry. And it helps to know a little bit about Bridge Foundry to understand who we are. It was founded in 2009 by Sarah Allen and Sarah May. You might know them from the Rails community because they founded RailsBridge at the same time. And they have a 501c3 nonprofit status. That means that any money that comes to us, we can give tax-deductible receipt, at least in the US. Only in the US, in fact. So Bridge Foundry has bridge programs. We are one of them. They are open for more. And let's talk about why GoBridge. Why are we even here? Our community is knowledgeable, helpful, kind, amazing, but we are fairly homogeneous. Now, it's really hard to show and prove in which ways we are so homogeneous. The stats that we usually find are across gender lines. And I love this one, is the co-founder of Patel. He developed some methodology, and he explains about it on that link. It's a blog post. And he figured out, through his methodology, that from all GitHub users who have over 10 contributions, 5.4 of them are women. That's very interesting. That's such a low number, I think. Our own stats, we do the Go Forum. And we started in November last year. And up to now, we have 2,500 women users, and that makes up to 4.62%. And I've seen this 5% general number in other places too. It seems like the 5 is a magical number when it comes to gender division in tech. This is a monthly breakdown of the Go Forum. And by the way, we get these stats via Google Analytics. They have some system to infer who you are in terms of gender. And it starts out in November. So it starts on this side here, and it goes this way. And except for February, that was very, very low, probably because February is a short and vacation-ish month. So it's been almost reaching the 5% mark, except for August that we broke that mark. And if the trend continues to the end. So I took this test this morning. If it continues this trend, we broke the 5% mark, but still, it's the 5%. More stats, we can just look around. And by looking around and seeing how many women are amongst us, we can infer how many black people are amongst us, and other types of underrepresented communities are amongst us. Now, what is the big deal with this? Who cares? What are you missing out if that's how it is? Sarah Allen has a brilliant quote. She says, Sarah Allen is the founder of Bridge Foundry. She says, if we don't have all of the people represented in the creation activities, I don't believe we are going to end up with the solutions that we need for our society. I love this quote. Somebody else said, It's been my personal experience, and it is also well documented in academia, that diverse teams are more innovative, creative, and adaptable in modern cultures. Diversity is strength. Diversity is longevity. That was Andrew Durand from the Go language team at GopherCon 2015. Now, diversity and inclusivity is hard. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to know if you're doing it right, if you're doing anything at all. But we can do hard things. Our goals are highly coupled with the Bridge Foundry goals. And it makes sense because we are all the same organization. And we aim to create cultural change so that groups of underrepresented people in tech are also visible as coders, speakers, contributors to open source, authors, teachers, and mentors. So for us at GoBridge, it's not enough to just lower the barrier so more people can join the community, more people from the underrepresented communities can join our community, and it's not enough that they feel included. We want to help them rise up to be the best they can, rise up to their talents. And I personally believe that through doing this work with these groups of people, we are also helping everybody, because what we learn and what we develop in the process, remember I said we are an open source initiative, that is available to everyone. And as we help people improve themselves, we hope that they will help others as well. It really doesn't matter who they are at the end of the day. But GoBridge chooses to focus on the underrepresented because we think they need help. We need help. I need help. I've had help, and I appreciate it. The GoBridge team works to provide safe and accessible environments, different ways different people can learn Go, many opportunities for community engagement, mentorship, and at the end of the day, we hope to achieve a community that is more diverse. And on to our initiatives and how you can help. You will see that it doesn't take much. I decided to include the Code of Conduct as one of our initiatives. It was a major undertaking because people have opinions and feelings, rightly so. And it takes effort to listen, but we do listen. And that's the link where you can find our Code of Conduct. It is based on the Go Code of Conduct, but augmented to fit our use cases. We have a detailed reporting guideline included in the documents. There's a list of admins that you can reach out to if you have an issue, if you see anything happening in any of our workshops, in our online communities, or basically anywhere where there's a GoBridge presence. And our admins moderate for safety and inclusion. How can you help? You can help by knowing the content of this document. You can help by providing us with thoughtful feedback. And you can help us by helping keep the community safe and inclusive. Gophers Slack and Go Forum. I know most of you are familiar with the Gophers Slack. If you are not there, that's the link where you get the invites. It's a paid account by an anonymous sponsor. That means we get to keep all the history and a few features that you get with the paid account. It has very interesting specialty channels. I love the reviews channels. It's a place where you can go and ask for feedback on your speaker deck, on your blog post, on your code. And of course, I hope you are also there helping people who need help and are asking for help. We have a jobs channel, a GoBridge channel, a GoKit channel, a Golang UK Conf channel, and a ton more. We have local channels like we have one for London. Some cool statistics. In the past 24 hours, and I did this morning, we had 4,000 messages. And we had over 1,000 people reading messages. All-time statistics, 1.5 million messages. And if you see at the bottom, the last number, 49% direct messages, most people, most conversations happening on Gophers Slack are one-on-ones. the Go forum. That's the link for the forum. It's a modern threading system. It's based on the Discuss system. We love the modern features that it provides. It archives old topics. It's configured to work like a traditional mailing list, so if your thing is email, you can just use email. It's indexable and searchable on the web, so people can benefit from the content that's there forever when they do a search and that comes up. It has nice coding format, so it's super helpful for people who are looking for code reviews. I love it that the authors can mark answers as correct answers or the best answers. Cool stat, we have over 2,000 users, and this number has been growing. The lead for those two initiatives is Bill Kennedy. Probably most people know Bill. He is the founding member of GoBridge as well. He does a ton of work for the Go community. I know that a lot of you are familiar with what he does, and I assure you, he does so much more than what you know. You don't know. If it wasn't for Bill, GoBridge wouldn't be where it is today. And I think we're in a very good place for being a one-year-old organization based on volunteers. I also want to mention that we have admins that help us maintain both the Gophers Slack accounts and the Go forum. They are listed in no particular order than alphabetical. They are amazing. Also, without them, these communities would fall apart. Every core member of GoBridge is also an admin of these web properties. They're just not listed here. You will see who they are in a little bit. How can you help? By participating, offering help. It is huge for people who are coming into a community and they have the experience of getting help. And they talk about it and they love it and they keep coming back and they bring other people. And again, it's not that thing where I think, personally, everybody needs to do Go. I just think that everybody who wants to do Go should have an easier time to get started. So invite newcomers. People, when they join the community, they won't know that these things exist. And we assume everybody knows. So just make sure you're telling people, especially if they're new. Mentor new members and be inclusive in your conversations. It makes a big difference. Go Time Podcast. It is, that's the link where you can get to the episodes. I think we have about 10 released at this point, with a couple more coming up. It's owned and produced by the Changelog. GoBridge is a participant in the initiative. The co-hosts are myself, representing GoBridge, and Eric St. Martin and Brian Kettleson from Gopher Academy. 40% of the profits from Go Time revert right back to the community via GoBridge and Gopher Academy. On the GoBridge side, I'm the lead for that. How can you help? Ping us for feedback and rate the show. The feedback so far right now has been, you are amazing. I love you. Keep doing it. But the three hosts are not professional podcasters, and I'm sure we can do better. So at some point, you guys and girls have to start telling us how we can do better. And we want that. Suggest guests and topic ideas. We have a huge list of guests that we want to come on the show. And they want to come on the show. Now, if you hop on there and suggest people, it will help us prioritize. It will help us with the decision making. We want to have everybody at once, of course, but the show runs once a week. So it's going to take time to go through the queue. And we need to decide. We want your help. Help us find cool projects and people. We always mention an open source project, whether it's Go or not, something that we like and enjoy, and want to give a shout out to people to appreciate them. And we also always mention Go projects. And I particularly love to find the under the radar projects that are really cool and can be useful. So mention those. Be a patron of the show by joining the changelog member community. They have a separate Slack account. I'm on there. Obviously, the changelog guys are there, Adam and Jared. It's $20 a year. It's very symbolic, but it helps them with the operating costs. Those guys do so much. And they also have other new podcast shows coming out. I think it's great. I'm a huge podcast consumer. I love it. And sponsor the Go Time show. If your company thinks that's a good audience to reach, it will probably be a good idea for you to advertise on there. That's, at the bottom is the link where you can ping us for all the things. Of course, you can ping us on the Slack channel as well. Chapters and partnerships. This is so we develop local chapter leadership. It's something that we have been wanting to do from sort of the beginning, but we didn't have anybody to lead it, and now we do. I'm very happy about that. So we're going to start working on that. Every community that wants to have an ongoing GoBridge workshop should have a leader to lead that. And we want to help people. They don't have to have leadership skills. Helping people grow into a leadership is part of what GoBridge wants to do. And support chapters in holding meetups and workshops, and engage with aspiring and existing meetup organizers to help them organize meetups. The person leading this initiative is Cassandra Gil. If you are aware of what's going on in the San Francisco Go scene, you will have at least heard her name. She runs the Go SF meetup, and she does an amazing job. She recently joined Netlify, which is also a company that is a major supporter of GoBridge, and they also have very strong supporters of open source. How can you help with that? You can step up to lead a chapter in your city. You can offer your office as a venue for workshops, and you can also reach out to Cassandra and talk to her about how you can get involved. Workshops, logistics, and teacher content guidance. This is a very important part of what we do. That is a picture of our very first workshop. It happened in San Francisco. Bill Kennedy taught that workshop. It was a collaboration with Women Who Go San Francisco. Since then, we've had a bunch of workshops in the USA. We've had workshops in Brazil, and even here in London. So, about the logistic for the workshops, they don't happen by themselves. People need to step up and organize them. And sometimes the organizer needs absolutely nothing. They just show up, they tell us what's going to happen when and where, and we list the event, and that's it, done. Sometimes they don't even know where to start, and that's what we're there for. We have the content. We have training material. We provide a 1-hour training for every first-time organizer. We truly support the organizers. The lead for that is Florian Patel. He also just recently joined. I am very happy for that because even though all of the GoBridge volunteers are super important, the workshops are so important, and we didn't have this person for a long time. So Florian stepped up to do this. If you are on Gophers Slack, and if you got help from anybody, high chances are it was from him. He's extremely active and helpful and an amazing overall person. I'm very happy he's doing this work. Workshop teacher and content guidance. Without content, there is no workshop. So this initiative means to train first-time teachers. Our teachers are usually developers, makes sense, right? And we developers don't necessarily have teacher training. So we give training to help people teach in a way that will be helpful to the students and will help the students better assimilate what they are learning. This initiative also tries to match teacher with the appropriate content to teach. Teacher relations, and that means getting teachers to get feedback, training from other teachers for them to help each other. And also incorporate feedback from teachers and students back into our content. We don't have anybody to do that. If you are interested, please talk to me, or anybody from GoBridge, in fact. How can you help with the overall workshop initiative? We really need content for beginner. It's a thing in our community that we are lacking this. There are some very good books coming up for beginners. I'm really happy to see it. But books are different from content that's appropriate for a workshop. It takes time to develop, and I would love to see it happen. Organize or teach a workshop. Support and encourage other people to organize and teach a workshop. Offer a venue. Usually when a venue shows up, when an office says, I would love to have a GoBridge workshop happen at my office, everything else falls into place really quickly. Venue is key. Offer sponsorship. When a workshop happens, we need a little bit of money to pay for food, maybe pay for a teacher to fly in and teach that workshop. So sponsorship is also very appreciated. Go remote meetup. I should say the Go podcast is my favorite. I'm torn between that and the Go remote meetup. I really love this one. That's the link where you can find the remote meetup stuff. The goal here is to extend content that people can consume over geographical barriers. I don't live in a big high-tech city. I used to when I was in Boston, but I am in San Diego now, and we do have tech there. We have 2 Go meetups, I cannot complain. But I want more. And what we can do with the Go remote meetup is anything. We can have presentations. We can stream meetups. We can have tutorials, demos. Basically, whatever you want, if you want to do an event. And you choose the day and time. You can do it in languages other than English. Actually, the UI has a bunch of different, so many different languages that people can select. We have a GitHub repo where you can ping us if you want to start an event, and we'll take it from there. We use a tool called BigMarker. I don't have an affiliation with them, but I have to say it's an amazing tool. It's not like Google Hangouts. It's made specifically for webinar type of thing or an online course, and it has so many awesome features, both for the speakers and for the attendees. We have a sponsorship by Compose.io, which is so appreciated. That sponsorship was actually for 100 people, but BigMarker stepped up and looked at it and was like, wow, you were doing amazing. People are so engaged. I'm going to bump you up to the 1,000 attendee plans. So that's what we have. The system allows for 9 cams and mics simultaneously. It's rare that we need that. Usually, there's only 1 or 2 people speaking at a time. And it's recorded. And within 24 hours, the recording shows up on the same link where you sign up. And the recording is done automatically by BigMarker, so there is no dependency on any of us, which is very good. And we also have a channel on Gophers Slack. The lead for that is Gunjan Patel. I didn't know Gunjan up to when we started talking about remote meetup. I don't even know how that happens, but he is a great example of quiet leadership. He showed up every time, he stepped up, he did things. when I looked around, things were happening and events were happening, and without him, we might not even have the remote meetup. So he totally took that over. We brought him into the GoBridge core team, and he's done an amazing job. How can you help? You can help by giving talks. Stream your local meetup. Or if you're not the organizer, suggest to your organizer that your meetups be streamed. People are so appreciative that this exists. Whenever there is a meetup, I see a list of the names of people that I don't recognize, I didn't see it before, I don't see it on Twitter, I don't see it on Gophers Slack. People are coming from, I have no idea where, but what I do know is that they're very grateful. They tell us, I'm grateful, I love it. Help us promote these talks. Encourage people to give talks. It's amazing how much encouragement, how much encouragement will help somebody step up to speak. Sometimes all they need is a little bit. So do that. And if you ever spoke at a meetup or at a conference, you're super qualified to do that. Share these talks on social media and share it amongst your company and your colleagues and your friends. You know somebody who wants to learn about BoatDB? Ben Johnson gave an amazing 30-minute presentation about how to use BoatDB. It's recorded. Tech support. It's one of those behind-the-scenes things. Why am I even mentioning? Because I want to share what it is that we do fully, to the full extent. And what we don't do because we don't have people. And, things that need to be done. So IT management. Adding somebody joins GoBridge, we need to add the user to all the things. Somebody needs to do that. It takes time. It's not difficult. Webmaster. Have you seen this word in the last 10 years? It popped into my head last night. But it describes, well, somebody needs to update the website. If there isn't anybody to do it, it doesn't get done. Manage all of the systems that we use. I'm very happy that Ed stepped up to do that. Ed has been a great supporter of GoBridge for a long time. He works for Heroku, and Heroku is also very good, an amazing supporter of GoBridge. We actually don't even know why Ed wasn't part of GoBridge for a long time. I think we thought he was. We realized he wasn't. And he's doing an amazing job. I am so happy. How can you help with that? We're going to, now that we have this engaged team in place, we're going to try to be active about adding issues to our repos. We have a bunch of repos in our GitHub organization. For example, the website has a repo, and we're going to start listing everything there. So if you want to browse around and see if there's something you can pick up and get done, please do. Sponsorship. We pay for some stuff ourselves, a little bit. We started getting some unsolicited sponsorship money. It's so appreciated. We usually, for workshops, it's like a one-time thing, but we need a little bit of money to maintain long-running things. For example, Compose.io is sponsoring the first year of the Go meetup, the Go remote meetup, and we need that kind of thing. For example, we want to have one password for Teams. We have a newsletter account that needs paying. And we want to have a buffer app upgrade. It would be cool to have a little bit of money to pay for those. More things on our plates. And we don't have people to lead these ones. I already talked about the teacher training and content guidance part of the workshop. Sponsor relations, we love our sponsors. We think we can do a better job about keeping them engaged, promoting them, letting people know who is doing what for us. We have a monthly newsletter that has been established, but it stopped being active because we don't have people with the bandwidth to run it. Data and stats tracking, it wouldn't be a lot of work, but it will be diligent work. You know, I appreciate having somebody on top of that. It's very important for us to know what are we doing, how things are trending, to see in what direction we can go. And Code Combat is an initiative it's a program that uses games to teach programming. And Bill really needs somebody to help him. Basically, what we need to do is just add Go support to it. I don't know what's required to make that happen, but please talk to him about it if you are interested. In closing, we are helping to grow the number of people from underrepresented groups in the Go community. We think it's very important to include people from different geographical areas. And we need teaching content and more volunteers. I want to give a special thanks to the conference organizers and the sponsors for making my trip here possible. And a special thanks to you. Thank you.